There is a YouTuber in the art community so hated that he gets false copyright striked,
I've been threatened with false copyright strikes.
cyber stalked,
All of the times I've been cyber attacked.
and threatened online.
Some guys threatened to dox me and pipe bomb my house.
But seemingly nobody talks about him on YouTube.
They've tried ruining me.
I only discovered the collective hate for him because I made a Reddit account, and it turns out the reason he's not discussed on YouTube is because nobody wants to watch another one of his videos to make a commentary on him. Since I couldn't find any, this is that video. So why exactly is this YouTuber hated outside of YouTube? What is the problem with BlackLightJack's content? BlackLightJack is what you would call racist.
Man, if I was a 12-year-old edgy white kid that had no standards whatsoever, I would probably think this is the most epic story that makes perfect sense.
I'm probably gonna butcher all these stupid Korean names, but let's be honest, who even gives a damn? Jing Jong chicken fried rice.
Misogynistic.
Velma was created by an egomaniacal narcissistic woman that thinks she's entitled to planet Earth simply because of the fact that she has a vagina between her legs and she's South Asian.
These mentally sick femcel readers of this comic, the type of idiots that enjoy this garbage, who love and salivate over degenerate shit like this, are only in it for the most shocking moments to enrage their goddamn estrogen.
Homophobic.
Come down
I don't read these gay-ass webtoons.
It's not a gay webtoon.
You fucking fat-ass Fujoshi bitches.
Insensitive.
I'm not reading this. This is fucking retarded. I know people get upset when I say retarded, but then I don't care. This webtoon is making me want to shoot somebody.
This is retarded. Whoever drew this, you need to kill yourself.
Delusional.
Webtoon is totally okay with feeding this garbage to f***ing children.
She's just a thin-skinned, easily triggered, emotionally underdeveloped, basic bitch fur.
And obsessed with preteen girls.
From the stupidity of preteen girls, she intentionally has no personality. And the reason why, of course, is because that will make it easier for the dumbass preteen girls that read this stuff to project themselves onto this main character.
Not in a PDF type of way, but if you knew how many times he brings them up in every video, you'd question it.
Usual dumbass preteen girls complaints.
If you're a normally functioning human being reading this garbage, as opposed to a stupid-ass preteen girl, target demographic of dumbass preteen girls.
I'm not gonna say dumbass preteen girl this time.
I'm sure you already know what a manga is, and you might also know that webtoons are vertically scrolling webcomics meant to be read on a phone that originated in South Korea. BlackLightJack attempts to convince you that manga is better than webtoons by saying that webtoons featuring sexual relationships between two adults aren't much better than a manga that normalizes a sexual relationship between an adult and a child. We'll get to all of that later. Jack can be summed up as a random guy on the internet who goes on unhinged rants with no logical reasoning or evidence to back up his claims. He shows absolutely no signs of research on the topics he rants about, which causes him to tunnel vision so hard that he loses vision, ending up with no outlook on the world and therefore producing unnecessary content. Before deciding to make this video, I needed to know what other people thought of Jack because why is nobody talking about this shit show on YouTube? So I searched up his name and came across a Reddit thread. Some of this information I already knew, others were shocking. Apparently, he's a hate reader, which leads to webtoon artists getting harassed. His takes don't make sense, and he victimizes himself. He could be creating comics instead of judging others because he can't do any better. He calls female characters bitches for no reason, which rubs people the wrong way. He's definitely sexist and hypocritical. He's obsessed with teenage girls, which one hurt him? He's straight up delusional. He encourages harassment in his Discord server, which goes against YouTube's TOS, and when his actions backfire, he plays victim while profiting on Patreon. Someone watched his video for 5 minutes and felt the need to stop due to his hatred for women and queers. He's transphobic. He referred to 4 women creators as Fujoshi bitches while only 1 woman out of the 4 drew BL. What have you been going around doing? What does that word even mean? Female fans of BL, I see. And you also spent 20% of a video talking about a Mexican restaurant completely unrelated to the rest of your— You've done too much shit to piss people off. So just to fact check all of these claims that people made against Jack, I watched more of his videos and came to the conclusion that BlackLightJack runs on a cycle of delusion, hypocrisy, and victim mentality. His first problem being misogyny. Jack has a problem with inclusivity for the sake of inclusivity.
The Women of Marvel series getting picked back up in our modern day period where all the super duper inclusive bullcrap has been shoved down our throats for the past 10 years.
Which is fine, until you hear him say this.
Karaoke sesh. As is obvious by now, this comic series was specifically written by those Twitter freaks who always scream about feminism and the patriarchy and all that other bullcrap.
The sheer amount of times he calls a female character bitch out of the blue for no reason reason.
And then before she finishes her sentence, Nick hugs the bitch and then says,
I think what he's going to say is, wait, what the hell? How did this bitch get in my car to begin with? After all this stupid contrived BS goes down, the pink bitch wakes up.
Our girly life.
Are these the same bitches?
It's not like they were being mean or anything.
Just hold on a sec. Jeez, stupid bitch.
They have a small dialogue while coming out of the bitch's high-rise. We move on quickly because this bitch, the ex-husband guy, pulls up on the pink hair bitch. After the pink hair bitch, ex-husband tries to woo pink hair bitch. You see how this pink hair bitch guy pulls up on pink hair bitch?
Okay, I think that's enough. Jack's channel was built on his delusion that he needs to protect the kids from the horrors of the Webtoon platform, specifically preteen girls.
Webtoon Canvas, a place where you can use your creative skills to produce comics, not just flash smut to preteens. This guy is sitting here peddling this message to a fan base of naive and confused preteens who know nothing about their own sexuality.
Reminding all of you guys that Webtoon's entire user base primarily consists of dumb, hormone-enraged, introverted little girls with no experience with the outside world.
Nobody asked them to make a revolting-ass comic that very clearly breaks the uploading policies of Webtoon and then peddle it to goddamn preteens. Proceeds to publicize that groomer comic to preteens on Webtoon. Use a preteens comic website as an outlet for their hypersexual lunacy. You have to remember the types of people that read manhwas and webcomic via apps are mostly preteen-ass kids. I always use the remark, dumbass preteen girls, a comic that advertises porn to Webtoon's user base of minors. Completely SFW platform full of hormone-enraged minors.
Webtoon's platform of hormone-enraged children.
Okay, I think that's enough. Jack is obsessed with the idea that only preteen girls read Webtoons and that preteen girls are stupid. He feels the need to make a difference in the world by teaching girls that these Webtoons are problematic, by continuously shitting on them for doing something that he made up. So at this point you're probably wondering, is the majority of Webtoon's audience girls under 14? You mean to say he was lying this whole time? In fact, it seems like Webtoon's user base has never been mostly women because I can't find statistics reflecting such belief. I looked for statistics around the time that BlackLightJack started spouting his nonsense, and the best it gets is 58% female in 2021. So what's with this obsession? He's blaming everything wrong with the Webtoon platform on preteen girls who are probably 5% of the entire user base. If he was really doing this for the girls, he wouldn't call his audience boys.
What up, boys? It's Jack.
Content warning, boys. Boys, look, I'm not trying to be a snowflake here. Boys, seriously, this comic is so aggressively cancerous. Boys.
His content is for boys who want to feel superior to girls because boys know the difference between right and wrong. Girls don't even get a thank you.
Thanks for watching, boys. Thank you for watching, boys.
Or a good day wish.
Y'all have a good one, boys.
What a sad day to be anything else but a boy. Don't pretend like you care about girls, Jack, while simultaneously calling every girl stupid while you call your audience boys, because of course, boys are not stupid enough to read Webtoons. That's why they visit the site more than girls do. How do I stop being misogynistic? I didn't know there were videos like this. You should check them out.
What this comic actually is a legitimately predatory piece of media that preys on the hormonal urges of Webtoon's user base of emotionally unstable preteens in order to squeeze dough out of Patreon.
Middle schoolers usually don't have that kind of money, Jack. You think they're gonna snatch their mom's credit cards or their moms are gonna allow the girls to use their money to pay for porn?
Boys! Well, mostly girls, because apparently the majority of my gender demographic is females.
So if you know your audience is mostly girls, why did you continue to call them boys in future videos?
Thanks for watching, boys.
As if you don't want girls to watch your content, even though you continuously say your content is for the girls. Jack knows Webtoon's user base is not preteens.
In the past, I've been saying that Webtoon is a children's comic book website, and it really isn't, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason why I always trashed on these vile-ass Webtoons is because this is a literal children's webcomic app.
He just does this to be misogynistic and convince his friends of the same thing.
Webtoon's main demographic are young teenagers. If you feed them literally anything, no matter how garbage, they'll immediately call it peak.
Oh my god, I was not gonna talk about this random person in this video collab, but she is such a pick-me, it's so annoying.
Part of the problem is the people digesting this garbage on Webtoon. Remember folks, Webtoons user demographic are mostly young girls.
This is her 4th time saying this line. I tried so hard not to include her in this video.
In the world of webcomics, I've come to notice 90% of the content can be boiled down to one genre. Softcore porn for preteen girls going through puberty. As long as it feeds into their puberty-induced desires and has a pretty art style, they'll eat shit and say, well, at least it's not diarrhea. I feel sorry for preteen girls who think this is what a real comic looks like.
And it works because the user base of Webtoon is also like on the same mental age as the creator.
Yeah, right.
So.
Very shallow.
I wonder how he managed to convince anyone into his delusion.
The digital age, where the answer to most questions you would have are available within 10 seconds of typing.
Yes, please use the internet, everyone.
The Princess's Jewels is not complicated drama with likable characters or well-thought-out storylines. The main character is a princess who seeks to manipulate and use her power to build a harem of men because she believes that sex with men is the only thing that matters in life.
Blatant fucking fat shaming.
She improvised with super pixelated JPEGs.
Comic glorifies double standards. This comic is basically teaching young girls that it's totally okay to objectify and mistreat the opposite gender. These readers and commenters and users perform an extremely aggravating action. It's a tactic that, funny enough, enables the continued production of woke media.
I get that this reverse harem webtoon is garbage, but how is it woke media?
Inclusivity validation. And that's the worst possible thing you could do with a bad piece of media. Inclusivity validation is where an idiot imprints their own personal desires and wants onto a piece of media because they feel like that piece of media is validating their own sense of marginalization.
You come into my bed. I'll treat you better than those men hanging by your side. Clearly you're not supposed to like this guy. A man that uses political power to make women his personal sex toys. There is a guy that collects women like toys, uses them for his own personal entertainment, and sexual gratification, of course, and he's a bad guy. Is this because a guy is doing it now? We should be looking at all of this just as sourly as we would if this was a guy performing such acts.
Literally saying that it's wrong for guys to take advantage of women, but it's a-okay for women to take advantage of men. No exaggerations. Guess it's all perfectly fine to be shown to literal children on Webtoon.
I feel like I have to explain something here because they're so fixated on gender for some reason. Upon watching this video, The Princess's Jewels doesn't seem to be about slavery being okay when a woman does it as opposed to a man because it's not about gender. And I didn't even read the webtoon, so this video should have convinced me, but the genre is classical reverse harem. You need to take palace norms into account. Obviously there's a power dynamic because in an actual harem, it's normal for the consorts to be treated like objects by royalty. I see the exact same thing in some of the palace dramas I watch. The male lead literally treats his consorts like objects and all the consorts want to have sex with him, but you're supposed to ignore it because it's a palace drama and focus on the actual story, which would be something like hidden political secrets the characters try to uncover. Now I get that in Princess's Jewels there is no other story and collecting men is the main story, but that's another issue. If you can't get past the setting, then don't consume the story. I've seen plenty of webtoons that treat women as slaves and perform much better than Princess's Jewels. This video's reasoning for Princess's Jewels being about gender is that the princess is doing the exact same thing as this villain, and the only difference between her and the villain is gender. But one, they have a class difference, and two, she's literally not doing the same thing he is. The villain is clearly trafficking women. Do you see that expression on the face of the guy next to the villain and the fact that there's a whole crew? Why would this random guy have this expression on his face as if he would also be able to sleep with the princess if she sleeps with the villain? It's obviously because the slaves, as you call them, are forced to sleep with everyone. The living conditions of the women that this villain picks up compared to the unofficial consorts who live in a palace and don't have to sleep with anyone other than the princess is very different. Unless the princess does make her men sleep around with everyone else. Point is, these two went into this webtoon knowing what it was gonna be and refused to immerse themselves into the setting, so I don't get what the problem is here. Yes, the webtoon seems like it is garbage in other ways, but not in a gender double standard type of way, at least from this video. You can make the argument that harems like this suck in general, but you can't make it about double standards with a flawed argument. I have only managed to find one video that Jack doesn't ruin by sprinkling in a little misogyny or delusion here and there, and at first I thought, wow, what a miracle that I've gone through like 30 of his videos and found one I didn't have to record. I should talk about this masterpiece. But then I realized, wait, this is the only time he made a video criticizing a man. They're making me fixated on gender, goddammit. There was a redditor who said that Maddie Bites is a misogynistic pick-me, and one of the reasons for this claim was that she only makes videos criticizing women and how women always get away with it, like get away with writing men to be violated by the female lead because of the double standard, but doesn't make any videos criticizing creators who are men for doing the same. To give Maddie the benefit of the doubt, I just assumed that maybe she feels like she has to talk about women being problematic because she's a woman, so she feels responsible to an extent. It's kind of like when Dan Fan was invited to make the Princesses Jewels video with Jack, and you could tell she was only there to call the female lead a slut.
She's a slut.
Because it would have sounded misogynistic if Jack said it. But Jack doesn't even have an excuse here. I thought he liked being morally superior. If he truly cared about his morals, wouldn't he look better to the world by talking about men creating awful works that borderline rape female characters? Jack made the mistake of creating videos hating on indie or canvas webtoons instead of sticking to the ones officially published by the Webtoon platform, which is generally considered to be unnecessary at best and immoral at worst in the Webtoon community. He was silenced, in his own words. When you go around saying stuff like this,
I have something to say to you, Mr. Borba. You should kill yourself.
people are not going to be happy with you, especially when these creators you hate read get harassed because of you. This clip violates YouTube's policies on harassment and hate speech, but the video is still up, so Jack should have nothing to complain about, and yet he still plays victim.
The literal danger I put myself in when I make these videos. You know about how often my entire YouTube career has been jeopardized by the cabal of mentally sick freaks in Webtoon's user base. I've been threatened with false copyright strikes countless times, like over 5 times. They've tried ruining me. I'm not very happy being in a YouTube niche where every upload may potentially put me in danger. These mentally sick Webtoon femcells kept striking it down with false copyright strikes.
I really do feel bad for being so harsh towards this. After all, this is just some guy's work on Webtoon Canvas. It's actually made by 2 chicks to be specific, but I can't help but get angry. Teacher-student relationships, inappropriate power dynamics, preying on students' emotional instability.
This indie Webtoon doesn't even have a good rating, which means people do know that the story is problematic. He just wishes the ratings were worse, enough to reflect his own thoughts on the Webtoon. And Jack, being the good guy that he is of course only concerned for the preteen girls.
The issue I have is where it's being publicized. The primary user base of Webtoon is like stupid-ass, impressionable preteen girls.
It's the only reason he makes these videos.
When the aforementioned dumbass preteen girls read crap like this, they're going to think it's perfectly acceptable. They're going to think it's totally fine to cling on to toxic relationships with people that you should not be looking at romantically. You're also catering this shit to kids and teens.
No one's gonna read this Canvas Webtoon and think that toxic student-teacher relationships are okay unless we're talking about confirmation bias here. It's not an official Webtoon. It was published by random people on the internet, just like how anyone can upload a YouTube video, and most people aren't influenced by random stories like this. I also believe that even if a preteen girl was to read this, middle schoolers aren't dumb, because every human is born with their own personality and filter that shapes their values, which is why people who grow up in the same environment can turn out incredibly different. But let's just pretend that he has a point here. Wait, I thought you said the entire Webtoon site was romance cringe.
And the entire website is just a trash fire of cringy romance comics that glorify toxicity.
So why did the romance revenue only take up 38.8%? He really was mindlessly ranting.
This is just me mindlessly ranting. Reminding all of you guys that Webtoon's entire user base primarily consists of dumb, hormone-enraged, introverted little girls with no experience with the outside world. And And there's a lot of those on planet Earth, so it's not that shocking that this is popular. And worse yet, this is more content that makes all us furries look like mentally sick freaks. That's actually what offends me the most here.
I see what this is all about now. Jack is mad because he's a furry, and this is a problematic webtoon that happens to be about furries, and he was afraid of how the negative portrayal of furries will affect him. It's okay, Jack. Only people like you generalize and form stereotypes like that.
The fan base of this comic is guaranteed to be nothing but hormone-enraged little girls whose only understanding of homosexuality is based off of yaoi anime and hentai. The dumbass girls, the stupid-ass little girls who just want to see a ship occur, not concerning themselves over the disgusting circumstances as long as it satiates their weird little fantasies.
No one hated you because of this webtoon, they hated you because of these videos you made, which means you became the very thing you hate because someone might watch your content and think all furries are like you.
It's for stupid hormone-enraged preteen girls. Stupid-ass girls just want to see a ship happen with pretty glossy artwork on it, like a 7-year-old girl playing with a dollhouse, so they squee at all the cringy drama moments and borderline softcore porn between a grown adult and a barely legal high school student.
I was so surprised to hear him say that he's a furry because I guess I was subconsciously under the impression that furries were nice for some reason, even though I don't know anything about them and never met one before, but now I know for a fact that they can be awful human beings. People are paying $10 a month for this.
I actually don't care at all that this comic exists. Everyone's got a fetish after all. My fetish is actually femboys.
So if you're not against incest, why are you making this video on my freaking hot cousin being one of the worst webtoons ever?
The issue is that this is sitting on Webtoon. You know, the website full of dumbass preteen girls.
Oh.
The Gaomon 1561 pen display. They know for a fact that the age demographic of people who use Webtoon are dumbass preteen fujoshi little girls looking for estrogen bait.
Oh my god, Jack, will you quit it with the preteen girls obsession? You're genuinely starting to sound like a pedophile. Maybe that's going too far. But if you said you were, and 100 clips like this exist, no one is going to be surprised.
Big surprise, they look like, you know, fucking generic gay romance characters that you'd see in any generic gay romance comic specifically designed to fucking be estrogen bait for the dumbass little girls that use this website.
Dude, seriously, how many times are you gonna bring this up in every single video?
This thing says nothing, I'm just a nobody, because I'm pretty sure nothing, I'm just a nobody is actually just supposed to mean I'm a generic fucking cardboard cutout character that stupid-ass fujoshi little girls can salivate over. I think that's what that's meant to say.
What are you saying?
Just keep in mind, this is evidently being specifically designed for fucking 12-year-old girls. Like, Webtoon fucking disgusts me with this shit, dude.
How is this for 12-year-olds again?
You're peddling this shit to fucking kids, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Maybe the dumbass preteen girls reading this shit is probably gonna buy that.
I just missed the part where you explain yourself, so all I got was the fact that you sound crazy. Do I need to show that screenshot again, or does everyone remember how his whole morally correct protect the stupid preteen girls from Webtoons take is built on his delusion?
Oh, really? You mean like the dumbass little girls reading this comic? So I'm guessing now the little fujoshi little girls can project themselves onto this main character now, since all this blank fucking cardboard cutout character is talking about basic bitch fantasies.
I don't know if you know this, Jack, but there are a billion other things girls would rather be doing, like watching My Little Pony, Pokemon, makeup tutorials, or literally anything else kids do these days. Minecraft, TikTok, Lego.
He looks like every generic jock douchebag guy from gay porn.
How do you know gay porn so well, Jack?
Very clearly, the dumbass preteen girls who read this comic are supposed to project themselves onto the main character. Can't blame. I'm gonna try and get through these a little bit faster.
Thank you, Jack. Just when I was about to click off.
And it wouldn't be a gay story if one of the main characters wasn't a goddamn instrumental guitarist or whatever.
Is that a BL trope? I'm starting to think you're into BL.
Ooh, he says this'll be fun. So you're specifically trying to make your readers continue reading by fucking teasing incestuous sex, and very clearly that's supposed to be sexually arousing for the reader, and the only person that would go out of their way to stick around and read this shit at this point would have to be someone who wants to jack off to incest porn.
Jack, you're starting to sound mentally ill.
And what's sad is that they don't even do the bait and switch correctly.
Why are you sad about that?
I feel like I'm an idiot for going out of my way to try and analyze it. It's like if Gordon Ramsay tried to do a food critique on a fucking bag of Doritos.
You are not on the same level as Gordon Ramsay. Jesus Christ, I can't believe he just said that. The level of delusion is insane.
This man-child probably gets butthurt at me for making this video, calling him out for being a dick to his own fans, and then will more than likely weaponize YouTube's copyright system in a desperate attempt to silence me. Yeah, I'm ready for it this time.
It's funny because he acts like he's gonna get silenced while attempting to bring about some kind of grand justice, but all Jack did here was call an indie creator out for blaming his fans when his Kickstarter didn't earn enough money.
Don't be an asshole to your fans. Don't try to shove your personal beliefs and feelings down your viewer's throat. Just make productive use of what you know.
He should follow his own advice. He complains about being a YouTuber, which is always a good look.
Just allow me to explain. May think that being a YouTuber is easy, but trust me, it's freaking not. Finding out what content you're going to produce, voicing over the lines correctly, making sure you don't fuck up the delivery of your script, finding footage and images to put up on the video for every single thing you're discussing in that thing, and producing a thumbnail entitled,
Reading Webtoons is hard? Why are you complaining about how you're making money on reaction content?
trimming the audio down so that your audience doesn't hear you gasping for air as you deliver your lines every 3 seconds, the delivery of your script, trimming the audio down.
Like, I get what you mean. I have to edit too, and it's really tedious, but why are you complaining about this? You chose to do this. He doesn't even edit the audio properly.
I believe the good news is it was and you could still have something to talk, and you should.
On a video that only has audio. And this isn't even an outlier. He does this all the time.
I think I'm gonna read this. Wow. Why? How would this guy, like, this isn't even in character for what the character. This isn't even. I don't mean to sound like a really stupid, like, I don't mean to sound like a. But it's between two main characters involving. But it's involving. What makes it extra stupid is that it's not even. The fact that it's like children's movie isn't even that's only half. This comic is the ultimate example of the fact. It's the ultimate example of a very.
I think that's enough. There's also this long pause.
You are one of them. Even being a little.
I thought my video was buffering. He seems to think that YouTube as a platform, specifically the algorithm, is at fault for him being trapped into making negative videos.
I pretty much am only allowed to dunk on bad pieces of media or special events created by sheltered SJW kids.
But if he didn't grow his fan base on negativity, he wouldn't be here in the first place.
My very first success was High Guardian Spice, a big ol' review series that goes super in-depth and explains why every aspect of it is so bad. I'm still proud of myself to this very day for tolerating how garbage it is, and how it propelled my channel.
Why is he blaming YouTube when it's normal for his fans to only watch the content they subscribed for?
You see, I don't pump out videos that have zero substance and quality. That's just not how my video making style works.
Wait, that's not what your videos are? But what about all the lies you told without doing any research?
This channel is dying.
Damn, I am so sorry that your channel is potentially dying. You don't deserve this. You deserve so much better. Jack's a good guy. But in the end of the day, he's still a small channel, so it's pretty much inevitable. It's actually really sad. If people see you one way, that's how you're labeled as. That's what you have to do, or else you die. If you put the TLDR at the bottom, I already read it all. I'm really sorry that your channel is somewhat dying. I know these people are serious, but the way they worded their comments is just so funny. It's either potentially dying or somewhat dying, because he posted this when his channel wasn't actually dying.
This channel is dying. Miserably. And it may not look like it is right now.
He was just afraid it would. You don't deserve to be going through this. You ever tried covering video game stuff? Please don't call his content video essays. This is a video essayist. I have talked with 4 or 5 YouTubers before about the same thing, and just know that you're not alone. The things those YouTubers had to say were memorable. I feel bad that YouTube can't really take in mind great content creators. You're the best reviewer I've ever come across and really gives me hope. You're joking, right? He's not even a reviewer, he said it himself. He's more of a ranter or a hate reader. You are unironically entertaining to watch. Not as entertaining as others. I need to get out of here. His comment section is funnier than he is.
I don't want to be one of those basic-ass news archetype channels that make those stupid videos where they cry and use the word woke every 3.5 seconds. Oh man, Donald Trump slams the woke SJW activist, guys. Oh my god. O to the M to the G. Oh my god. Disney is dying, guys. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me, please. I have like fucking 9 subscribers. My parents are 2 of them. Oh my god, guys. Male protagonist now woke, cringe, soy boy, ally cook. Whoa, guys. I'm in my 30s and I have action figures and RGB lighting behind me, guys. Clearly my opinion is valuable here. You get what I'm trying to say.
I don't. I didn't understand any of that actually. What's going on?
The internet is so hyperbolic and desperate for an excuse to complain about something because it gives most of these sheltered losers here a false sense of purpose in life.
Wait, is he conscious of himself for once?
I have tried my damnedest to develop an identity for myself outside of the whole bashing woke stuff shtick. The whole woke trend bullshit is at the tail end of its lifespan. Countless other YouTube channels of my niche have covered this already.
Okay, so he doesn't want to make anti-woke content even though he is anti-woke because it's oversaturated? Damn, what a predicament. You ever tried covering video game stuff? He also made a video on a Canvas webtoon to aggressively convince the creator to post their work on multiple sites.
This guy spread his weight out, and thusly, he got more of a following. You have not done that at all. You need to do that. It's the friggin' year 2024, boys, and you only posting your work in one platform is just not going to fly. This is kind of just a video-edited scolding.
I don't know why you did that. Nobody asked you.
I'm not trying to make it out like the world is against me.
The world isn't against you, but you are against the world, right?
Every member of the primary cast looking like a Korean supermodel.
Has he never seen a Korean before? They don't look like that.
Trite, predictable nonsense, right? I absolutely do not judge. I like anime titties and femboys as much as the next guy. I am the last person on earth to be looking down at anyone.
Did he really just say that? That sounds different from the content you've been posting, Jack. What do you mean by that?
These webcomic apps pretty much only consist of tantalizing slop. These webcomic apps are using horny nonsense to advertise their platform. That thirst trap.
Oh, I see. I thought you just said you don't judge, but I could be imagining things. That's the homepage, Jack. I don't think the platform chooses what appears on trending, they just put up what is trending on trending. I would hope anyway, unless you have some kind of evidence to prove that Webtoon is pretending like City of Blank is trending when it's not. You know why I know Jack is an entitled elitist?
I actually got like 5 webtoons taken down. People practically fell in love with me for doing this.
He calls his subscribers fans.
My loyal fans were furious. My fan base is full of...
I have never heard a YouTuber refer to their subscribers as fans, and the specific ones I'm subscribed to have expressed how weird it would feel for them to do so because they're not celebrities. I've never actually heard him say the word subscriber. It's either viewer, which could mean anyone who watches his content, or boys, which could mean anyone who watches his content.
I call all my fans my boys. It's just my thing, okay? It doesn't mean anything.
Or fans. There is just one thing I'm confused about. Everything else he says, I at least know the words he speaks, even if I don't understand, but he keeps saying solitary day throughout some of his videos.
These idiots still, to this very solitary day, perceive themselves as the victim.
And I don't know what that means. It doesn't make any sense.
Everyone with sanity has been giving this thing a 1 out of 10 without a second solitary thought. I will jot down and show you every single solitary reason available. There isn't a single solitary character.
The way he uses that word is so weird. Just to be clear, not all of Jack's content is bad.
Can someone explain to me what the I'm looking at right now?
He does make some good points here and there.
I'm not exactly a good influence.
There are some Canvas webtoons that he was totally in the right to take down, but then he says something dumb again.
This series contains shit.
Adult
sorry.
situations.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say retarded again, I'm sorry. A competition to see who can pump out the most aggressively shameless but also appealing form of digital estrogen bait possible.
And he does all of this on purpose. He knows what a logical fallacy is.
This is a straw man argument.
I want to believe that he's doing this on purpose to spread an agenda, because I don't want to assume that he's dumb enough to not notice how much of a hypocrite he is. Webtoon artists tried to destroy my channel. Let's see what he has to say.
My Cellmate is a romance that romanticizes prison inmate sexual assault. The King and the Paladin is a webtoon that is literally just a medieval fantasy porn plot where a tyrannical woman violates a guy. I hate you. Will you have sex with me? Do I even need to say anything on that one? Heart of Eternity, which once again is a glorified porn plot. This time it features pseudo-incest. Every single one of those webtoon artists, and then some, that I made a video about tried to take my channel down. All of these individuals are active creators on Webtoon and have all labeled themselves as victims of bullying. A bunch of mentally fucked, fragile art girls have zero ability to take any form of criticism. I have a false copyright strike over the prison bitch Webtoon. I received over 100 Pornhub notifications telling me to activate my account. A coordinated attack from a bunch of mentally underdeveloped introverts who can't tolerate their precious porn comics being talked down to and criticized.
Okay, so he basically tried to take a bunch of Webtoons down and then got bullied by the Webtoons fanbase in the form of spam emails and YouTube copy strikes. It's just hard to feel bad for a guy who told someone to kill themselves over a Webtoon he admitted no one should take seriously.
No, I'm not joking. I'm not fucking joking at all. Actually fucking kill yourself.
It does suck that he lost the revenue those videos generated, but then again, all he did was produce low effort reaction content, so I don't think he should feel entitled to that money. He also has a Patreon.
Have any of you people seen normally functioning human beings advertise porn to minors? Have any of you, have you ever seen a normal person weaponize copyright systems to silence people? Have you ever seen a normal person try to blow up somebody's email with over 100 porn notifications? Good job, you fucking fat ass Fujoshi bitches.
Is he fat phobic? Why did he say that as an insult? This is where you can see more hypocrisy because he implied that people shouldn't fat shame.
The princess doesn't want to marry this guy because, ew, he's so fat. Why is it that this guy is specifically drawn to be fat?
I guess this is what that one Redditor meant by him calling 4 women Fujoshi bitches when only one of them draw BL.
The biggest accomplishment of your miserable ass lives is advertising the minors.
He managed to throw in 2 insults and 2 delusions in one sentence because of course he had to bring up the minors. Sometimes Jack is very insufferable.
Jing Jong chicken fried rice. Pretty boy Jing Jong Jade.
And jarring.
In South Korea lies a massive media industry that is best described as the dollar store version of the Japanese media industry. Japan is renowned for their birthing of the ever-influential anime industry. South Korea is renowned for their really bad K-dramas and K-romances that prey on the emotional instability and hormonal imbalances that their target demographic of stupid preteen girls with no understanding of relationships all have. These awful Korean dramas and romances inspire budding creators to make bad comics. My Irresistible X is essentially a manhwa adaptation of a generic K-drama.
Jack is comparing animations to shows as an analogy for manga versus webtoons, so it's hard to follow his non-existent logic here, but what he means by all of this is that manga is better than Korean webtoons. It's actually pretty funny because he has clearly never watched a K-drama before. If he put up a non-generic one about an alien that is nothing like the webtoon My Irresistible X to present his argument. My mom really enjoyed this drama. I didn't watch it because I thought the lead was too old. Please don't hate me. I know she's like the most famous actress in Korea, but I was a preteen, as Jack likes to call it. I think he just grabbed a random image off Google because this drama is from 2013. The most popular drama in 2022 when Jack made this video was one about a woman with autism, so it's crazy that Jack still had this weird perception of K-dramas. Aren't high school dramas what preteens are normally into? I genuinely wouldn't know what they're supposed to be into because Jack is clearly delusional, and I almost exclusively watched historical dramas. The lead in My Love from the Star was pretending to go to college. She was like 30 years old. I don't think this drama was for preteens. Also, the biggest age group of K-drama viewers in 2021, the year before Jack made this god-awful video, was 25 to 34-year-olds. So K-dramas are definitely not made for preteens. But that's not surprising because we're used to Jack acting like he knows what he's talking about. He's clearly just racist but tries to hide it by bullshitting other reasons for his feelings. Reasons that he made up because they never turn out to be true. The fact that he compared a show that he clearly did not watch to anime to present the narrative that Japanese media is better than Korean media because they're both videos. You'd think maybe he brought up this K-drama because it was a manhwa adaptation, but no, it's more so because he knows that most Japanese romance dramas that we're exposed to are shallow or socially unacceptable and have low production value. J-dramas in general usually have lower ratings as well. If you want to call a country's media inferior to another, shouldn't you compare all of the media inside these countries, and fairly so, before coming to a conclusion? You know, because you brought it up? But he can't, because he is incapable of doing research or coming to logical conclusions based on said research.
These days, nobody wants to work anymore.
He definitely knows that Japanese webtoons exist. There is no way he doesn't know. You think webtoons branched out to the US before the rest of East Asia? He could be comparing Korean webtoons to Japanese webtoons, but chooses to compare apples to oranges, presenting a flawed argument because it's easier for him to do so. When I run out of Chinese dramas to watch, I move on to Korean dramas, then to Japanese dramas, then to Taiwanese dramas. This drama was a train wreck. I never want to see it again. My content cycle hasn't even reached American shows for years because there's just too much content to watch, considering I also have to watch the YouTubers I'm subscribed to. There is no shortage of content in this world, but Jack chooses to continue to consume content he does not enjoy.
Manga is just better. Manga is just better. It just is, okay?
Webtoon creators are like YouTubers. YouTubers can be both good or bad at writing and editing, just like how Webtoon creators can be both good or bad at writing and drawing, and still manage to become popular because there is a niche for everyone. Here's how Korean Webtoons are brought to the US. Anyone can upload a Webtoon that becomes an official Webtoon original if it gets popular enough. A lot of them lack quality because the creators are sleep deprived after having to draw 60 panels per week. If these official Webtoons become even more popular, they're translated onto the English platform. And if they get even more popular enough to be published into physical comic books, the creators go back and fix all of their art so that the panels look presentable enough for a physical comic book, while mangas are already physical comic books. Jack is basically saying that a movie is better than a YouTube video. You know, because they're both videos. A more specific example being how Disney movies are better than animations made by Storytime YouTubers. That is the video equivalent of comic comparison. Some video essays on YouTube are better than some actual documentaries. In the same sense, some webtoons are better than some mangas. The difference is that they're seen as equals by enough people because enough people prefer webtoons over manga simply due to the fact that webtoons are colored and easily accessible because they're free online without needing to pirate them, which personally offends weebs like BlackLightJack who then make videos explaining how manga is better than webtoons for like-minded manga elitists because they can't stand personal preferences and require everyone to agree that mangas are objectively better than webtoons.
Whenever I talk to people IRL about this, comparing manhwa and manga together, the only real defense folks have for it over Webtoon slop is, oh hey, it's colored, so it's better. And I'm sitting here looking at these guys like, I mean, that's true, but who cares if it's colored?
Oh look, I was right. How could I have guessed?
Horny nonsense, that thirst trap. I'm talking about all types of smutty content, you know what I mean?
Teacher-student relationships, inappropriate power dynamics, clearly toxic and unhealthy relationship between a disturbing predator and an emotionally unstable high school student.
Has he ever watched a Japanese drama before? Because there are a lot of student-teacher relationships in that industry. Like, what is happening in Kuzu no Honkai? Qu'est-ce que j'attendais de... I don't know what that means. This drama starts off pretty weird. The leads are both in love with their teachers. What's wrong with Japanese drama's portrayal of their teachers? They're always weird and creepy in some way. I wished the teacher hadn't slept with the ML. He's a minor and she didn't care. I kept wondering what her husband will do when he finds out. They showed abuse of power between a student and a teacher, but not her having to deal with the consequences for it. Is Narumi a cuck? Cause that's the only way forward for someone like Akane. Nasty ass biatch to the very end. I needed a few days to recover from this drama. The story has no depth, very superficial. I need to be medicated. How many times did they talk about a relationship only to turn right around and fuck around with someone else? The second they were like, well, let's be a real couple then, Hanabi went and had sex with someone else while talking to someone else at the same time. By the end of this show, I pretty much hated everyone. I still don't understand that ending and it pisses me off. After all of this bullshit, what was the fucking point? Yeah, these students don't end up together. But don't you understand? They need to go to therapy and heal first. I want to move on from this as soon as possible. Drama is not my type. Too much bold scene to handle. It is drama made on high school student and rated above 18+. Then it is make for whom? I am dropping this drama after watching first episode. Even I didn't watch full episode. I dropped it in the middle half. Why did this person make a review? I don't know what would be the story, but read synopsis, get a clue. Didn't watch full drama, so don't know about acting of characters, so no comment on acting, no comment on music rewatch value. Yeah, that makes sense. This drama was based on the manga and the anime adaptation. I also watched a J-drama where the student who is the male lead literally slaps the teacher, the female lead, right across the face out of nowhere, and they end up together. I think they do anyway. I couldn't get myself to watch all of it. Falling high school girl and irresponsible teacher? What? Why did you make yourself sound like a pedophile? I think you get my point. I don't say all this to shame Japan. I say this to point out that the Japanese media, minus the Japanese webtoons of course, were supposed to act like they don't exist for Jack's purpose. The Japanese media Jack claims to be better portrays the very things he criticizes in webtoons. Because of course, bad content exists everywhere. I haven't consumed enough media from both countries to make generalized statements, and I know for a fact that he is in the same boat, because if he really did his research, he would be talking about it. I have only seen one Japanese drama that was good out of the 10 or so I tried, but I still wouldn't go around saying Japanese dramas are bad or that Japanese media is bad, because normal people don't form these kinds of opinions when they don't have enough context or experience. Japanese dramas are not as globalized as anime, so there are few of them available to watch. I don't know where to find the rest of them, and I don't know if that's because Japan doesn't make a lot of dramas in general, or if it's because they usually don't give streaming rights to US platforms. Since I don't care enough to find out, I don't have the right to judge Japanese dramas as a whole, because I gave up that right when I chose to remain ignorant. This is what normal people do, but is a foreign concept to Jack. Now that we got that out of the way, let's see how Jack convinces us that manga is better than webtoons. How the little brother who turned into a girl became his big brother's girlfriend? I can't believe he put this in the video. The webtoon platform would never publish a webtoon original like this. I think everyone can agree that incest is way more prevalent in manga.
Stop suggesting something as gross as romantic love between siblings.
Than official webtoons. Jack also included this disturbing clip for some reason.
Nobunaga Sensei's young bride, a middle school teacher that meets a 14-year-old time-traveling child bride from the Edo period of Japan who really wants to have babies with that grown adult teacher. The child in question immediately strips in front of him, demands to have that grown man's children. The little girl gets upset and complains about how stupid age of consent laws are. It's not like webtoons and manhwa are much better. I just told you the thing about My Stepmom. How about The King and the Paladin? A manhwa that is literally just about a girl that violates a guy. How about Jinx? The manhwa that is literally just about a rich MMA fighter taking advantage of a poor person. That's the lowest point of online webcomics and webtoons.
What do you mean webtoons aren't much better? Those webtoons are so much better. What happened to protecting the preteen girls? All of these works are complete trash, obviously, but I would take stepmom romance or possible adult violation any day over whatever the fuck Nobunaga Sensei's Young Bride is, an anime that normalizes sexual relationship between a child and an adult. Again, Webtoon would never publish something like this. Sexual exploitation of minors is not normalized in South Korea the way it is in Japan. There is a reason this anime was even allowed to be made. Japan has a huge underage prostitution and child trafficking issue, to the point of being called child sex tourism because foreigners come to Japan to have sex. with children. Its government does not fully meet the minimum standards for the elimination of trafficking. Yes, even the US state government criticized Japan, stating that the number of criminal investigations and cases prosecuted by the Japanese government remained low compared to the scale of the problem, because even when offenders were punished, most of them only received suspended sentences or fines, which does basically nothing to stop the issue. And we all know what happened in the regarding the same topic, because worldwide, almost 20% of all trafficking victims are children. This anime makes that situation worse. So yes, of course these webtoons are better. Now let's proceed with his video so we can pretend like the world isn't falling apart by complaining about how the world is only kind of falling apart, because all of these weebs basically agreed that the exploitation of adults is equally as severe as the exploitation of minors.
Japanese media does have low points that are essentially just hand-drawn Amber Alerts, but their high points easily make up for all the worst manga out there. It's way easier to find good manga simply because there's, well, more of them.
I wonder if he realized how pointless this video is when he said that out loud. I would say that Korean dramas are better than Japanese dramas because there's seemingly more of them. If I wanted to sound like a dumbass, that is.
The quality is more visible over here with manga if you've got the right discerning eye.
You can say the same for webtoons, but $15? For what? Did his video manage to convince any of you that manga is better than webtoons? Look, you can have your own opinion obviously, but I think this video did a very bad job convincing anyone of such opinion. He definitely could have shown better examples. Jack was apparently bullied into leaving the webtoon sphere for his shitty takes, but let's hear from him why he actually left.
I can't really do this webtoon shit anymore. I'm done. No more webtoon videos. There's only so many times I can look at yet another slop Korean comic. When you've essentially been saying the exact same thing for nearly 3 years, it gets miserable. I just don't want to open the app anymore. Every time I do, I just sit around and wonder, why am I even here?
Okay, so he couldn't stand reading webtoons anymore even though nobody forced him to?
Most YouTubers only ever have their content and careers put in danger once or twice. Several times is not normal. I've been threatened with false copyright strikes.
I get the frustration here. It's obviously wrong to false copy strike someone and annoying as hell for Jack to deal with, but most of the ideas I've heard from Jack also sounded wrong. I mean, he is a victim in this case, but he also made victims, so he had it coming.
That is not normal. Because I'm dealing with not normal people. These motherfuckers are subhumans. They're social outcasts, bro.
He's not a normal person either, according to his own usage of the word. That's why they were harassing him. And I don't think he's any better than the people wrongfully copy striking him.
My Instagram PMs got flooded with people trying to send me images of dead bodies or whatever.
Isn't that what you wanted? For someone to die? It's really fitting.
I felt like I was actually making a difference and making the webtoon scene a better place.
Really? You thought that with your content,
You should kill yourself. Dumbass preteen girls.
This is fucking retarded.
Goddamn estrogen.
you were making Webtoon a better place? I see.
It is just not worth the trouble. I'm just gonna let this be someone else's problem. Third thing. Bitterness. Maddie Bites and Chalupa. They basically do the exact same thing I do. They shit on Webtoon for basically as long as I have. And despite all three of us busting our asses providing education and entertainment regarding Webtoon, and only 2 of the 3 of us have received good treatment from YouTube's algorithms in terms of viewership for our efforts. And furthermore, they have not been repeatedly cyber attacked and false copyright struck.
Does he really not know the difference between his content versus Maddie Bites and Chalupa?
Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up!
Or is he really that dumb? Besides my personal opinion of Maddie Bites and Chalupa's voices being nicer to listen to, they also title their videos better. Although they all share a reputation of misogyny, Maddie and Chalupa are at least self-aware.
Kings are always better than a queen. Whoa, I'm kidding!
Lookism is it's basically the male version of true beauty, and no surprise, it's the better version.
Yet again, men have proven to be superior.
Maddie's discussions are more diverse, thought-provoking, and logical. She puts in a lot more effort on her videos by animating skits or recording puppet shows. Jack clearly does not demonstrate such respect.
I tolerated a bad comic for the sake of you guys' entertainment. You guys can tolerate a minute and a half worth of sponsorship.
Jack also doesn't edit his videos properly. He speaks incoherently and stalls for so goddamn long. We're more than halfway into this video and he still hasn't even started reading the damn webtoon because he keeps going on unhinged tangents. He also sounds like he doesn't enjoy making these videos, he just sounds so pissed off all the time, and there's only so much negativity one can endure compared to the other two who take a more comedic approach. Chalupa is actually funny sometimes.
Why was he staring at you like that? Maybe because you're the only other one there with eyes. Everyone else there is... What the hell is this line? Who was the genius that came up with that nickname? Shouldn't I give all the positives of this webtoon before I hate it? The art is so good. So good just to be wasted on this dog sh- Final statement?
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live.
He puts in a little more effort than Jack in the form of edits. Please, do not compare lookism to true beauty. They are not counterparts just because there is a difference in gender between the MCs. I actually, don't know why they're friends.
The cover warned me, but for some reason I'm still shocked to see furries on my screen, man. I haven't even read anything and I already want to stop.
Dude, don't be so insensitive to Jack.
Treat everyone with kindness regardless of their appearance. Unless they look like this.
Man, why do you have to keep taking jabs at Jack like that? Chalupa is not as offensive as Jack.
Psychopath who was let off the hook for the most heinous crimes because she's a woman.
So he just pisses people off less because his content is not as enraging.
She's not just made for the streets, she is the street! You are to have sexual relation with me. Tell me if any of that would be right if the genders were reversed. And this stupid freaking K-pop star is declaring his life,
let's just call her, Shin. That's her forever name.
His lack of respect for the female gender.
As you can see, Chalupa is a tamer version of Jack, in some ways.
And Fat told her, I don't know, he was gonna cure diabetes or something. It'd be like if you were attacked by a gang of black when he says ravens and wolves aren't friends. And then he goes too far. He calls him a-
Can you not? What the fuck is wrong with him?
If you guys like this video, then please like, share, subscribe. If you guys have any video suggestions or anything else I should read, if you guys like this video, then please like, share, subscribe. If you guys have any video suggestions or any other webtoon you'd like me to read, then please leave it in the comments section below.
You might think I'm a view whore. You might think that I'm some kind of ungrateful asshole, greedy motherfucker, like I'm ungrateful for what I have.
I thought you sounded like you lacked critical thinking skills.
If YouTube is not giving me enough viewership to make these videos, they've reached their blow-up point where their average viewership is very high. And I never got that despite me doing the same thing as them, and I am extremely bitter over that. I'm sure you guys find me to be extremely pathetic for feeling bitter over this. If you had two other friends who have been doing the exact same thing as you, and they have suffered no false copyright strikes or general cyber attacks, and they also generally get fuck tons of more views and subsequently get paid more than you, how would you feel? It just makes you wonder, like, why am I even here?
Wow, he truly believes that his content is the exact same as his peers. Did he never sit down and bother to find out what might be the difference by watching multiple of their videos, comparing them to his own?
We all know popular webtoons are what pays my bills.
Everyone with any form of common sense in the art scene already knows how much of a tire fire Webtoon is. I'm done. I cannot keep reviewing Webtoons.
The only person I can blame for reading this mess is myself.
I will still be making videos about webcomics.
Wait, I thought you said you were done.
I've always had additional aspirations on top of YouTube, like voice acting and making my own webcomic.
Jack, you've been shitting on the biggest webcomic platform this whole time while planning to make a webcomic yourself? I'm guessing you won't put it on Webtoon then, because that's not gonna go well. You've declared war on the whole community multiple times.
Webtoon is a notoriously bad place to look for actual content. It's very common knowledge that the platform is just one big fucking joke. Guys, you know how Webtoon is a notoriously terrible website if you want to look for a comic with actual quality, and the entire website is just a trash fire of cringy romance comics that glorify toxicity?
Fuck these two platforms. They're lucky as hell they're the only game in town, I swear to God. I didn't even know how awful and scummy Webtoon is as a platform. I didn't know all the stupid BS people have to deal with or how awful the user base is. I was blissfully ignorant of the cancerousness that is this entire sphere of media. Webtoon staff is worthless. I'm trying my best not to make this a whole thing for you guys.
I think I need to stop watching. I've become so desensitized that I feel nothing towards his content. To think that someone like BlackLightJack has so many like-minded and short-sighted companions, including people who make some of the same type of rage bait content, like this guy.
Manhwas are kind of the slop of fiction, and the same thing applies to manhwas, because if you take the best series from every major medium, such as for example anime, manga, manhwas, and light novels, manhwas would come in dead last. I don't see the pinnacle of manhwas being able to compete with the pinnacle of light novels. The only time I would say manhwas are better is when it comes to consuming mid-series.
See, I can't take you seriously when you show no examples of the best manga after saying the top manhwa can't compete with the top manga. These guys are just rage baiting. There is no substance for actual discussion because you can't compare anything when there is nothing to compare. These videos are made to be echo chambers on purpose.
Also, I do think this argument still stands if you bring in more mediums such as visual novels, web novels, video games, normal books, TV series, and movies. All of those mediums, in my opinion, still clear manhwa. But if we did imagine a future where the manhwa format was realized to its fullest potential.
Okay. What does he mean by the manhwa format? He doesn't actually think that manhwas are Korean webtoons, right? He can't be that stupid, right? Because if he knows what manga is, then why would he not know what manhwa is? They're all the same words, just in different languages. He is rage baiting, right? He's not actually saying games and movies are better than Korean comics, and that books are better than comic books? What does he mean by normal books? Like books without drawings are better than Korean comic books? Do people actually think like this? What is the thought process for comparing mediums like this? Is it to compare hobbies, like watching movies are better than reading specifically Korean comics? I swear to God, these guys only read one type of Korean webtoons because that's the specific subgenre that they're into, then complain about manhwa as a whole because they're too entitled and limited to be self-aware. Please follow your own advice.
Actually think about this for a second.
And this guy.
The invention of the webtoon format is the single biggest downgrade to the comic book of its entire history. It just never comes close to the experience of reading an actual book. The only leg up webtoons have on manga is their inclusion of color. Why exactly are webcomics like this? Can't we just have digital comic books? I really just hate seeing such a beautiful storytelling medium forced to conform itself to the hyper-convenience of a phone. This shit is DD mega doo-doo.
And this guy.
Some people say that many manga are cliché and mediocre. To those people, I'd say, have you ever read a manhwa? If you think most manga and anime are cliché, that's probably because you haven't been introduced to the world of manhwas. Absolute trash. If there were a global competition where artists had to copy each other's styles, Korean would take the win every single time.
Why is it always men? Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. They corrupted me with gender focus. I don't want to view the world in this light. Obviously, them being men have nothing to do with their inability to logically reason. The irony of this video being a copy of other YouTubers while his video is on Korean comics being trash because webtoon slop exists? Surely Japan is free of slop, right? Or any other sort of criticism that prevents this conclusion. It's not like people hate anime because of their representation of women, or the obnoxious fan service, or because of that one prevalent perverted character who isn't even portrayed to be problematic. Don't even get me started on No Game No Life. This girl is 11 years old. Why did my brother have figures of? The guys who make these type of videos always conveniently ignore major problems with manga when claiming that they're better than webtoons, because they are the target demographic of manga and anime. You would not see women in mainstream webtoons portrayed the way they are in mainstream manga. Instead of respecting personal preferences, these guys evaluate countries based on a small portion of media, and by evaluate I mean make generalized statements that are personal opinions presented as facts. They do this of course for the views. Considering how popular anime is, there are so many elitist weebs out there who love getting their brain-dead opinions validated. Webtoons have a bad reputation. This reputation was largely created by vocal rage baiters like BlackLightJack. There is a reason for the stigma around watching anime, but these weebs desperately want to popularize the idea that anime can be bad, but you know what's worse than incest and pedophilia and sexualization of women? Copying art styles and stories, because copying is unheard of in manga and anime. These guys just want their hobby to be better than some other hobby, to feel better about themselves for consuming content that is perceived as cringe or problematic. And before you ask, I did watch Akame ga Kill and My Hero Academia. I don't talk down about things I didn't experience myself. Even the people who pretend like their preference is their own opinion don't even know what they're talking about. Like this person who says, the biggest problem for manhwas is that the biggest series that put them on the map is a power slop, and that just shaped the perception of manhwas. Doesn't really help that the community glazes other slops like these as well. Top off my head, the mythic item one. I don't understand part of that post, but I thought we could discuss this because as far as I know, lookism is what popularized webtoons, and solo leveling is what everyone knows nowadays. Both of these webtoons started at least 10 years ago, so they can't be considered slop. They came out before webtoon slop even existed. I searched up mythic item webtoon, and surprisingly there's a webtoon called Mythic Item Obtained. Since the community apparently glazes this webtoon, let's see what they have to say about it. I read the title as My Thick Item because of how they spaced the letters in mythic. Well, that was not mythologically accurate at all. Odin's warriors are there to prevent Ragnarok, not start it. I can already tell I will be tearing my hair out throughout this series. For the sake of my scalp, I'm heading out. Zephyr, that you, bro? The mom doesn't die in the first episode. Oh, they replied. They said that it doesn't matter when the webtoon was published, it's still slop, and that solo leveling is just a generic isekai slop. By that definition, everything is slop, right? Even the original, because it generated slop, which means it's now just a common story, it's not original anymore. Although it could have drawn inspiration from the legendary Moonlight Seeker, Tower of God, Log Horizon, and The Gamer, no single webtoon portrayed the particular hunter ranks plus solo grind in addition to the art and pacing that made solo leveling distinctive. I had to research all of this because I didn't read any of these stories. I tried my best to find an isekai that would make solo leveling isekai slop, but I could not find any articles of anyone claiming this, so I just had to ask AI, and this thing, despite me trying to get it to prove the opposite point, kept telling me that solo leveling is not a copy of isekai. It even seemed to think I meant the opposite. Apparently both Korean and Japanese series draw inspiration from Chinese wuxia, and share tropes common to many East Asian web novels such as game-like stats, dungeon raid structures, power progression, and system mechanics. Obvious influences also include MMORPG game mechanics. There is no one title that solo leveling replicated for it to be considered slop, and it even lacks the core isekai premise for it to be considered an isekai. There is no widely accepted finding or legal proof that solo leveling copied a specific isekai title. They have similar tropes or scenes due to shared influences, so they're not directly plagiarizing one another. No single origin, but solo leveling popularized certain tropes that many later stories borrowed. So the AI says that solo leveling combined a bunch of existing concepts and also made distinctive changes. That doesn't make it a direct copy of anything. I don't know how accurate this AI is, but I do think that the term slop is just being thrown around inaccurately by manga elitists just to spam internet slang and hate on a webtoon with no explanation other than the fact that they've already seen something similar before. As far as I know, the term slop as used in AI slop is when something lacks quality and value because it is an effortless replica that was mass produced. Combining certain concepts people enjoyed from other works plus your own ideas used to be what being original was, and now the standards have skyrocketed, specifically for weebs judging webtoons. I would love to see one of these NPCs sentient enough to explain themselves logically. Until then, we only have this AI to rely on who rejects the idea that solo leveling is a power slop. In case you're wondering, I didn't say all of this to convince you that webtoons are in fact better than manga because I'm not interested in that conversation. I just thought it was absurd how everyone saying manga is better completely ignore the glaring issues with manga, so all they can say is plagiarism, guys, except for Jack. Jack is the only one who actually brought up some issues with manga. See, I told you he has some redeeming qualities. Jack, you can't just leave webtoons out of your title. Manga is better than what? I thought you were trying to get views. This was the ultimate commentary video on BlackLightJack and manga versus webtoons. I don't like making these kinds of videos, and I hope I never have to make one again. Thank you everyone for watching. I later found one commentary video on BlackLightJack by the Gummy Bear King criticizing Jack's Princess's Jewels video.
Where I fundamentally disagree with this guy is because he's just ignoring objective reality to suit his own subjective opinion and need, so it can fit into his narrative. What comes to be the problem is when you try to take your subjectivity and turn it into objectivity. When you are just objectively wrong about something, it's best that you have the time to yourself to look over your script and then essentially rewrite it. Yeah, I'm very unclear as to what he really means.